I thought that from the second quarter on, our defense really stepped up, and we did a nice job of getting stops, getting out and running. For the most part, we played unselfish. We made the extra pass, and that was really good to see. I thought we had some really solid individual defensive efforts tonight. Guys like Brandon and Zoe in particular, but a lot of Kuzma was great, and then the team defense from second quarter on was really what we've been looking for and good to see again.
Tyson mentioned in his walk-off that Lonzo can really be the key to the defense and when he picks up and the aggressiveness. At what point when you first started seeing him at the facility, like after he was drafted, did you kind of see that could be more better?
Well, we saw it right away. It was one of the things the coaching staff we were shocked about because defense, when you come straight to the NBA when you're young and 1 year of college, the defense is normally the last thing you do when you're a high draft pick. And we saw it where his defensive instincts he was way more advanced than we thought he would be on that side of the floor, and he's been doing a really nice job of that lately.
Luke, you mentioned that things turned in the second quarter, but how about the whole second half? What was the biggest difference in finding that energy throughout the whole time?
Well, we found the energy starting in the second quarter, and we did a nice job of carrying that on. It was ugly that first quarter. We weren't getting back in transition. We had good shots. We just weren't making shots. We had too many turnovers. We still had too many turnovers for the whole game. We got to continue to get better at that. But we found that energy to start the second, and we carried it on.
Luke, you guys held Luka Doncic to 2 for 13 from the field. What did you guys do specifically that worked against him tonight?
Well, I thought that's why I talked about Brandon's individual effort. And it's never really individual. It's always there's pick and rolls. There are guys, the big man Tyson, JaVale, showing, getting back, all of that comes into play. But he's a really good player. Watching tape on him, what he's been doing these last couple games is, and I'm sure even longer, but that's all I saw was the last couple. He's huge for that team, and he's big, and that's the second time where I think Brandon's just done a nice job using his length and keeping him somewhat uncomfortable.
Luke, you've been talking for the last couple games about wanting to get back to tempo. Tonight you had, I think, 31 fast break points, 61 points in the paint. Is this sort of a good game to kind of present to the guys and say, hey, let's do this more. Let's get some buy-in on increasing the tempo?
Yeah, well, we keep showing the film on it. We're good when we do it. There was a possession today where I forget who had the original pass, but it went straight to Kuzma straight to Brandon, no dribbles. That is, that's with the type of athletes we have and the personnel we have, that's what we're good at. But we have slowed it down because we want to focus more on becoming a stable defensive team, and we will show the examples when we ran tonight when it was good. But we have to continue to get better at it. If we don't have it in transition, then pulling it out, and where we've done a nice job lately is not just turning it into straight isolation basketball. And we don't have it now. Let's move the ball side to side, get into a second side action, and making a play out of that.
Luke, do you feel like the team's made significant progress in the last month, in the first month of the season to this stretch defensively? If so, where and what isn't there still?
Well, we've made a lot of progress, yes. And we're just more consistent. We understand our coverages more. We're starting to understand our teammates more. The terminology, everything. It's why you always talk about it takes time. It takes time, and it does, but it also takes guys that are bought in and willing, because a lot of defense is effort. And we have a group of guys that has committed to that end of the floor, and they keep working on it. And we talk and film, and we show in the film, and they're active participants in that. So they want to be a top 10 defensive team, and we continue to work on it, so we're getting better at it. And I think bringing Tyson in has really helped with that too, with the way he communicates and the way that he finishes off defensive possessions with rebounds.
And is there an area still that specifically is missing?
Yeah. Every area can always get better.
You were talking to Kyle about some of the specific passing that was going on. I wanted your impression of the play where I think LeBron had an outlet pass to Lonzo, who caught it in the air and flipped it to JaVale, who finished with a dunk. Like, just your impression of that play.
It was, it shows the type of playmakers that we have when we're at our best. And it's a quick outlet. It's our center outrunning, 8 of the other people on the court. Lonzo making an unselfish pass to the big who's running the lane. So that's us when we're at our best. We got to continue to work on being at our best as consistently as possible.
Hey, Coach, typically when we talk about B.I. and Kuz, it's more about their scoring. Tonight they combined for 10 assists. Just what does that mean? What's the advantages when those two are getting others involved?
Well, they're both good playmakers, and they both can create for others because they can collapse a defense and they can draw 2 with their offensive ability. So something we've been talking to both of them about all year is make that extra pass. It'll come back to you. As the team develops that type of personality. And I told them at halftime, I said, both of them, I felt were doing an incredible job of playing unselfish and making the right pass, the appropriate pass every time. And I thought they did. I thought both of them were very good with that tonight.